So you are looking for a subcompact SUV that looks sporty, is practical, and has some good power. Welcome to Side Roads Auto. I'm Carlos, and this you should consider: the 2026 Hyundai Kona N-Line. The Kona N-Line comes with this more aggressive front styling, different and unique wheels for the class, and the cladding is painted over. Of course, we have the N-Line badges. I really like how it looks. But of course, let's not forget about the interior and how important it is in a subcompact SUV. So let's take a look. So if I have to describe the cabin of the Hyundai Kona, it would be practical, maybe utilitarian, or both. This is really good. However, all the plastics are hard plastic, but Hyundai have chosen ones that at least doesn't look cheap, and I like that. And I especially like the plastic here on the dashboard because it have this special texture and it makes it look unique and different, and I like that. We have two front windows with one touch up and down, and the seats I find really comfortable. They are firm, so keep that into consideration, but they are comfortable, especially for me. And I have taken this car for a couple of road trips, and they have been completely comfortable the whole time, which, by the way, you would think that this will be only a city car. No, it's both, because it was really good on the highway too. The steering wheel is wrapped in leather and it's heated in this top trim. And then we have a dual 12.3 inches digital screens. One for your gauge cluster. Is pretty simple but very nicely designed, and it's very functional, and all the information in the center you can change and configure depending on what you want. You can also change the dials and the design on the dials depending on what you want, and they can also be linked to the drive modes. And then here we have the infotainment screen, and it's really responsive. The icons are huge. It's very user-friendly. On the main screen you have a split of information that you can also choose and get the ones that you prefer to have. It is really nice. And we have a 360 camera with this egg motion thing that you can rotate the car. Is really, really good. It comes with Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. Down here we have the air conditioning controls and a set of buttons that will help you navigate the infotainment screen, which is really good. You have a volume knob, a tune knob, and then you have some, shortcuts buttons here, which I appreciate. And then here we have the air conditioning controls, and they are all physical buttons and easy to use and easy to reach. All this section is really nice, and I appreciate that it's not part of the screen. Down here we have a wireless charger, some extra charging for your devices, and we have your heated and ventilated functions for the seat. The steering wheel is also heated, and we have a camera button here, which is handy to have. Even you don't have to put it in reverse to see the camera. Two cup holders that you can hide or put them available for you. An extra space here, an extra cubby here, and a little tray for your center console. It's utilitarian, it's somehow practical, it's unique, to say the least. And then the glove box is on the small side, but you have this extra shelf here that you can use for carrying your stuff. I also like here this red line across the dashboard. This is because we are in the N-Line, but this will change depend on the trim. The design of the seats is also really nice. I like the side bolstering. It hugged me nicely without being too much. And in this particular case, we have Alcantara and then leatherette and these red accents and the N-Line logo here. We have a regular size sunroof. As I said at the beginning, I like it. It's really utilitarian. The door pockets are big for big bottles, and everything is at reach. The layout is great, and you can carry a lot of stuff. There is a lot of little nooks and spaces here. Very practical, screaming SUV despite being a subcompact SUV. I like this dashboard and this interior for the Kona. We have drive modes here. We have a sport and normal, but we also have terrain modes. and the Kona has snow, mud, and sand. All that is a lot for a subcompact SUV, and very welcome. I fit behind myself based on my driving position, and there is enough space for my knees and plenty of space for my height. The seats, I find them also firm but comfortable, and there is an armrest there with 2 cup holders. We also have air vents for the back passengers, which is nice to have in a subcompact SUV, and charging for your electronics. The seats can be folded 40-60. The trunk I find really practical. Again, I took a couple of road trips and all my stuff was there and there was extra space. It feels practical and useful, so I like that. This, to me, despite of the hard plastics, is a very well designed cabin for the Kona. The 2026 Kona N-Line comes with a 1.6 liter 4-cylinder turbo engine that produces 190 horsepower and 195 pound-feet of torque. The engine is paired to an 8-speed automatic transmission, and the Kona N-Line and top trim with the turbo engine come all-wheel drive. Fuel economy for the Kona N-Line is 9.4 liters per 100 kilometers city, 8.4 liters per 100 kilometers highway, which is 25 mpg city and 28 mpg highway. Let's talk about the price. The Hyundai Kona N-Line in Canada, which is a unique trim, starts from 39,000 Canadian dollars. In the US, the top trims with this engine starts around the 28,000 US dollars, and the top trim goes to around the 32,000 US dollars. The Kona competes in the subcompact SUV segment. I have chosen the ones that look more like a lifted hatchback, which is the case here, against vehicles like the Subaru Cross Treck and the Mazda CX-30. And if you can see there, they are pretty competitive, and the Kona has a small advantage on power and torque. Now at this point, if you like the Kona price and its position on the market, come with me and see how it's to drive. So the driving experience from the Kona is pretty good. I think this is a pretty good all-around vehicle. It fulfills its purpose with no issues. I think this is a very good product from Hyundai. I understand why it's so popular, because it really has it all. It's not super shiny, the best thing ever, but it's by far any bad. It is really good. So let's start with the cabin. The cabin is well insulated. I will say class average. Wind noise is pretty, eliminated, I would say, for the most part. The problem is road noise. And that's half and half, lack of insulation, and also because I drive in crappy roads. But I have been driving this car for a while now, and in better roads, and when you are in a smooth road, it's pretty quiet. So it's good enough. It makes the experience to be nice and quiet and calm, I would say. It's okay. There is nothing wrong with it. And I think I learned that I prefer this type of cars instead of expensive and fancy cars, because this shows me how far the car industry have gone with their cars, especially the entry levels or the not super expensive one. So really, really good, I find. Class average in general. The steering is I think it will be firmer than softer, but nothing uncomfortable, and you can maneuver this car with no issues and park it and everything. It's okay. I think it's fine, and it's okay. It's doing what it's supposed to do. I have no issues with the steering. I like the fact that it's a little bit firm, so it's good to me, at least. You, as always, need to test drive, but I don't think this will be a deal breaker by any means. The transmission is an 8-speed automatic transmission, and it has been doing a pretty good job too. I find it really quick to shift in general. It's funny. It downshift quick enough. I think the upshifting is the fastest part, but it doesn't hesitate too much, and it's always in the speed that I want it to be. So it's pretty good there. I don't think there is issues with the transmission so far. There's one thing that I will comment later, but other than that, it's okay. It has been performing with no issue in the transmission. And again, I like the fact that it's so quick to upshift. Then we have visibility. Visibility is great in this car, even considering the compact size of it. So the windshield is massive, and the windows are pretty big. The side mirrors are of excellent size too. The back windows or the second row windows are okay, and I have full visibility from the back window. The blind spot is pretty thick there, but that's typical of this type of car, so it's good. This one have a pretty cool 360 camera that you can rotate and move, and it will help you a lot in situations where you have tricky visibility, and we have blind spot monitoring too, so it's good. Then we have the brakes. The brakes are okay too. I find them enough for this vehicle. They're a little bit long. You have to press them hard for the car to brake, and harder the more you need them. Long is the only way that I can explain it. Maybe that's not the right word to use, but they are okay. I have been stopping the car with no issue. They seem, when you really press them, that they have the power that they need to stop this car. This is not a big car or a super heavy car, so you should be fine. I like the pedal calibration though, so they are good. And then we have the engine, which is a very good pair with this vehicle. You can have the Kona with a lower engine. We are driving, by the way, the N-Line in Canada. There is no N-Line available in the US, but the top trims has this engine. This is a 1.6 liter turbo engine with 190 horsepower and 195 pound-feet of torque. If I'm not mistaken, if I am, I correct myself there in the screen. So the engine is really satisfying to drive in this car. The only issue I have with it is there's a little bit of turbo lag. And at the beginning, from stops, you need to wait for the power to kick in, and then it goes. And when it goes, it has a very nice power and speed delivery. It builds the speed really nicely, and it feels powerful. It feels peppy once you are past that lag little portion there. And it's good. In the highway was really good because it's a turbo engine. And it's a little bit torquey. Well, that helps to recover, so the transmission doesn't have to be shifting all the time because the torque helps a lot. I find it a perfect pair for this car, honestly, because this is, again, not a super big car. It makes it, more dynamic to drive, and you have a lot of power available for you there. I don't think anybody buying a Kona is looking after huge amounts of power, but if you get the top trims or the N-Line, then you are getting that extra bonus. You have to pay for it, but hey, I think it's worth it because then the car feels all the time ready to go. And when they downshift, like it goes, like you have to modulate the gas pedal because sometimes it's like going too fast. So it's pretty good. I find this car like so well in all the areas. Again, I don't think it's the best, but I think it's a great product from Hyundai. I think it's a great product for the segment. It's spacious, the cabin is full of tech and features, the seats are comfortable, visibility is great, it's compact if you want a compact car, but it's not super small. In fact, it's really good on the space on the back too. The trunk size is also pretty decent. And with this powertrain, then you are also not sacrificing for power. By the way, compact SUVs in general, these regular or the base engines have this level of power, and some of them have less power than this. So it makes it really interesting and really nice to drive around and to have, because you have a smaller car with all the power that you ever need, and it makes it just a little bit more, there's a little bit of satisfaction there while driving. It doesn't mean that because you have a smaller car or a subcompact SUV, you are lacking power. Not in this case. So if you are looking for a subcompact SUV, check the Kona, which by the way has a look that you can love it or hate it, but I think it's really nice looking. Have so many cool and modern elements. There are some others that I'm not completely sold by, but in general, I like how it looks. I like the dimension. I like that it's a subcompact vehicle, but still giving you so many stuff that I don't think you need to sacrifice absolutely anything by getting a Kona. So if you're in the market, check the Kona. I think you will like it. Test drive the two engines, because maybe you don't even need this amount of power. Any subcompact will have the regular engine level of power, so you also will be not missing anything by getting a Kona without a turbo. So I think it's an excellent option here. I will go for it, and 100% for sure will test drive it because it's great. I like it.